At my age, I too feel nervous standing up here, but that's not because of me. I'm worried that the audience is feeling very nervous. India is a land of contradiction, a land where there was a license raj, where if you produced more than your license, you were fined, a land where taxes at one time were 105.5% of your income. Can you believe that? I can't, but I have to. At one time, a land where there's a nexus between businessmen and the politician and the criminal, and the judiciary with corruption, so I can go on. Yet we do business in India, and I believe that we can do business in a better way, more successfully than other business houses. We do not have this power and the strength, but we do have the principle given to us by Jesus. I believe that Jesus came not to give the world a new religion, but a new spirituality. The word Christian was coined by the Greeks of the believers. Prior to Jesus, and even now, selfishness at that time was, and today is, the center of life for many governments, many countries, many people. For us Christians, love and selflessness is the center of life and should be. We are called, I believe, not to change a person's religion, but his spirituality. So also the businessman's business, run on the basis of love, not raw profit, is everyone's duty. Let me share my personal experiences. Don't read that. I'll read it out. So I'll keep within my time. How many minutes more do I have? 2 minutes? India is a country of diversity, not just diversity of culture and religion, but also diversity of values and understanding. By that I mean people understand the word honesty differently in the different groups. Loyalty, it means different to different people. And therefore, when you're in this, you've got to know what the other person is understanding of you and what he means. So, okay, since that's switched off, I shall put mine on just to help me out. And so, it is a challenge. Yeah, thanks. We are the largest democracy in the world, second largest country after China. And this series of contradictions ends up with us wondering how India continues to grow and do so well. In 1966, I left the seminary. I was there 6 years, the Redemptorist Seminary, and there are 2 Redemptorists here. Little did I realize the training I got in the seminary actually was what they do not teach you in Harvard. Learned how personal discipline, get on with people, get the best out of people, patience, logic, and so many other things. And I did not know it was preparing me really for a life of business. The first job I could get, because my dad was a serviceman and he still had 2 children in school and he had retired. So I took the first job. It was sweeping poultry sheds, and I got a lot of experience, but he also taught me through his life that there's only one way to do a task, and that's the best way. Finding the best way is the easiest road to success, actually. I became a special officer, and I got another job. And then a few years later, I told my dad, can you help me? I'd start my own little farm. 1969, 9th of January, I got my first few chicks in, started a poultry farm with the help of a Peace Corps volunteer, built it up. 1972, managed to get the franchise to produce chicks, and in 1989, I think we were about the largest in the country, producing over 100,000 chicks per day in those days. What do I say? We had a philosophy that a sale is not complete until the farmer gets the anticipated benefits. So we opened diagnostic labs to help the farmer everywhere, and slowly we became the favorite of the farmer, and the farmer, in turn, gave us so much business that we grew faster than anybody else. We sat down about 35 years ago and worked out our business philosophy, our mission statement. And that was, one of them was, our profit is and must be the legitimate reward for services rendered to society. And so I encourage all our people, make the service better and bigger, you can make bigger profit. And it works that way too. In 1990, the sky fell in for me. My competitors, we were growing ahead of everybody, using a lot of political influence, using government machinery. We had a lot of problems, lots of problems which I couldn't survive from. And it took me a long time, after closing down, to sell out assets to clear my debt. Finally, in 2005, I was able to settle all my debt from 1990 to 2005, not wondering what was in store for me, what had God in mind. And I had believed that we are really stewards, and all the properties that might come into the company under my control are really under my stewardship. And I had one, had one very unique experience. It was in the beginning part of the century when the land mafia took over one of the lands which I had kept and hoped that that would help us come back into business. It was a large land just outside Bangalore. Bangalore had grown, so the values of the land had gone up. At knife point, they threw out all our people. It was the last hatchery I had, and it was tough. Went to the police station in the middle of the night. Nobody was there, told to come back in the morning. And I had a very wonderful experience, which I will share with you. I had to be at the police station at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was told that the inspector went out on his rounds. And I left very early in the morning to be there on time, knowing that that road was a bad road, but we got caught in traffic. And I was anxious right through, praying, Lord, solve this traffic. How can I look after your properties if the traffic doesn't let me get through? And this prayer went on, and then a sort of a thought or a voice came into my mind and said, what traffic? So I said, the traffic all around me, the car's not even moving. And then the voice said, it's not like my traffic. My traffic threw stones at me and spat at me, and I had to carry my vehicle. So you're in a good way. I said, Lord, sorry. And then I was late. The inspector had gone out. I had to wait 3 hours till he came back, then found that he had been bribed also. And so it was a lot of problems. I finally managed to use influence at a higher level and then get the police to throw out all these people. But after that, the death threats came in, and then I was told my wife went here, then the other, my eldest daughter went here, then the other, and if I did not hand over to them, they wouldn't return home, and so I handed over to them. They paid what I was due to the bankers, and in 6 months, that same property was sold at more than 15 times its value. But I don't mind. I have my family with me. That's fine with me. I was only a steward, and if he can't look after the property, then I've done my best. So 2005, I cleared all debt, and I had only one project left. It was the coconut breeding project which I had started in 1983 with a UN advisor who had encouraged me to do it the right way. He says, because nobody is really giving a very good product to the farmers. And the right way is to eliminate all the illegitimate plants which happen because you can't control the bees bringing in the wrong pollen. We hybridize a dwarf and a tall variety. So I said, okay, but he said the gestation period is long, your business is doing well, so let's start. So we did start, and then, of course, I ran into a lot of problems with the business on the one side, drought on the other side, and didn't make any profit for 22 years from it. 2005, I closed all my debt, and that was the first year the coconut division made profit. Can we go up a little more? This hybrid garden, which we started, and it has grown and been growing. In 2005, I started focusing on that. The hybrid palm we produce flowers in 1/3 the time and yields more than 3 times the number of larger coconuts than the usual palm we see. Lives are changing, and even the small farmer of 2 acres or less is moving from poverty to middle-class status, or should I rather say, to a better quality of life. Often the waiting list is long, and the farmer has to wait for a year or more. But the small farmer today, we have for him no waiting list. We work with NGOs who work with small farmers and thus try to increase our reach. My advice to all is to truly look at the principles Jesus has given us and to follow them. Doing the task in the best way, total customer satisfaction, and you cannot go wrong. We produce 500,000 hybrids a year, and I'm aware and I'm not aware of anyone else producing more, but we are hardly scratching the surface. We need to reach more farmers, and that is our goal for the future. May I also add that servant leadership, that which we learn from Jesus, is the best way to manage workers. Reverse the pyramid. Richard Kunath told us. He was an American Catholic consultant who gives today seminars on servant leadership. I could give a little. How much time do I have? Till it comes up, I got a lot of time. Empowering workers is actually the easiest way to run a business. I'll give an example. We have today about 600 acres under mother palm cultivation, and I was opening a new farm, buying some new land, and the day I registered it on the 15th of June 2011, going to take it over, I find that the roads are laid out, the little hedges planted. Half the land has been planted with our mother palms. I said, what's this? So the team of laborers, not educated, who had been appointed to look after it, said, we are ready. Tell us what you want us to do, when you want us to do it, and we are ready to start. So they got permission, I did not know this, from the erstwhile owner, to let us start at our risk, and they started, and they had the place already looking beautiful the day we registered it. Reversing the pyramid, as Richard told us, is going to your workers and saying, this is the work which I want you to do. Can you do it? What help do you want? I'm here to give you the help. This is your job. This is your possession. You do it in the best way possible, and I will help in any way I can. Don't go and look over his shoulder all the time and correct him. And you find, and you will find, that they really respond fantastically. We have a very, very labor-intensive business where every coconut palm is emasculated. Every male flower, there are more than 10,000 male flowers on each spade. And every female button is then hand-pollinated. And we have 23,000 palms like that at the moment. And you can imagine the labor component. So it works. And that, again, is, again, a wonderful, simple Christian principle of respect, mutual respect. I was asked, how much time do I have? 2 minutes more? I was asked just to share a little bit what we are doing. We are focusing on the small farmer. We are, the big farmer makes a lot of money and he can look after himself. The small farmer needs that little bit of extra. We work with NGOs and others. We're trying to go to other tropical countries around the world, because 93% of the world's coconut farmers are small farmers. And before the big houses get into this and control the industry, as is happening all around the world, even in the US, the food chain is getting controlled by the big houses. Can we get the small farmers to organize themselves, help them get organized so that their lives can change? Thank you very much.